Hey everyone, I've gotten a lot of requests for how to play different domino games. So today I'm going to describe how to play Mexican Train. It's probably one of the more popular domino games. It's got a few different names, but I think Mexican Train is the most popular. So depending on how many people you're playing with, if you're playing with 4 players, that everyone gets 15 dominoes. If you're playing with 5 or 6, everyone gets 12. If you're playing with 7 or more, everyone gets 10, unless you're playing with a lot. You can go all the way down to only shuffling 7 at a time. The more people you play with, the faster the game goes. So here's the basics. You start with a double. So whoever plays the double, that is their turn. They get to go one more time. So say I played this double and it's my turn. I can lay that card down. Great. So the object of this game is to get rid of all of your cards, and you do that by building trains, which as you can see here, everyone's building a train based on the cards they have. Pretty simple. Everything has to line up. So we've got a double 11. You have to have an 11 and something else. In this case, you got an 11 and a 7, 7 and a blank, and so forth. So what's neat about this is the game goes by relatively quickly. Hopefully, if everyone can play. If you can't play, you put your train up. Some people have actual trains. You can also use random things you got around the house. Pennies are great. Coins, batteries, pop tops from a beer or a Coke can or something. So you're trying to run out. Usually there's one train that's called a trash train or the Mexican train. So if I were playing with a handful of people, this might be person A, person B, person C, person D. This would be my train, and then this might be the Mexican train. Anyone can play on that train. That's something that's really nice about it. It's open to everyone. If no one has their train up, the only place where you can play is your train and the trash train or the Mexican train. There's a few things to note. If you have a double, you have to satisfy that double before you can move on. So like if I were to play this 12 and I couldn't play, I didn't have another double in my hand, I would draw from the bone pile here. As you can see, I didn't get one. Regardless of if I could play anywhere else on the board, the next person's turn, they have to finish this double. So you would keep drawing. They didn't get one. Say it's that guy's turn. They didn't get one. You go around until someone can play. So that can really mess people up. You just draw once, but still can really throw you off. So in this case and this case, we both have a double that would need to be satisfied. That actually would never happen in a game, so I'll just take that out. So this person here, let's say it's their turn. They can play a 6 on their own. We'll pretend that double's out for the moment. They could play a 6 on their own because you can always play on your own train. If they had a 2, they would not be able to play there because that train isn't up. But they could play on this one because that train is up. They could play a 4 or a 12. One more thing to note, this double blank card here, if you have it in your hand at the end of the game, it's worth 50 points. So this person did a good job getting rid of that. When you get done, you tally up. Somebody will go out. Somebody will have 0 points unless you run out of dominoes, which has happened and can happen, especially if you're playing with a larger group. If no one can go anywhere, the game is over. Or as soon as someone goes out and has no more dominoes left in their hand. So then you would tally up the remaining dots, not each card, but the remaining dots, and that would be your score. So similar to golf, you want a low score, but some rounds are a little more challenging than others. So let's say I was left with these cards in my hand. I would count up each dot, and that would be my total score for the end of the game. One of the house rules, and I think it's a good rule that we play with my family, is when you get down to one card, so say this is my last card, you have to knock, or you can knock on the ground with your knuckles. It's kind of like Uno, that way everyone knows. And you also can't go out on a double. So if that was my last card and I played that, I'm not actually out. I would have to satisfy that before I could go out. But if this was my last card and I played it, I don't have any more cards left, that's totally fine to do. So I hope that helps explain Mexican Train. That's just one of the variations of dominoes. Really fun. You can play with as few as 2 people all the way up to 10 or more, depending on the amount of people you've got in your group. It can be a really fun time. So I hope that helps. And please check out the Kickstarter. If you're interested, please like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And it would be really helpful if you could share the page with your friends and family. I'd really appreciate it. Don't forget, pack your dominoes.